Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and today is Friday, November 15th, and this is the Search Buzz video recap, the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week at seroundtable.com. Just a little note, doing this pretty early, and I figured I'll do it by my window in my hotel room because I'm still at XMX. And you can see the Empire State Building next to me all lit up. It's a pretty cool view. Maybe I'll just fan you around since I can't really do much anything else wise, but there you go. And there you have it. That's my room. All right. Now, the big news I will cover, I don't have my screen behind me, so I'm going to try to embed whatever is relevant for you guys to see outside of this Empire State Building over here. But the four big things, at least, that I want you to take away for this week is, amongst other things, is one is Google did a pretty massive, unconfirmed, then confirmed somewhat, Google search algorithm update. Google did not confirm it was big. They said it was small. They do several updates, and you'll see more about that soon. The Google local update we reported about earlier this month, it was kind of named as the Bedlam update, and there's a lot more to say about that, so I'll be saying that as well. Bing had a very, very scary cache bug, which was just a bug. It wasn't a hack or anything like that. And I published a two-part interview this week, Monday and Wednesday, interviewing Danny Sullivan, a mentor of mine, someone I've worked with for years, and now is at Google. And I asked him some very, very interesting questions. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy it. Sorry about the view. It could be worse. And hope you enjoy this. Let me know. So first up, like I said, Google did a pretty big Google update over the weekend. Google did not say it was big. And what's interesting enough is that there's a tremendous amount of chatter in the SEO community around this, with massive people being hit by 20, 30, 40, 50 or 60% of the traffic gone overnight. But the tracker tools like SEMrush and Mozcast and all these numerous tools barely saw a little blip on that day, nothing massive. Which was interesting, but the chatter was absolutely insane over the weekend. And then I shared tons and tons of data around this from the SEO community. You can take a look at that post on Monday morning, where I posted about it on the 11th. And I'm looking down because my notes are down here as opposed to behind me. Google then somewhat confirmed that update, basically saying Danny Sullivan tweeted the search line count on November 12th. He basically said that Google did several updates. With this update, there's not really much to say. But basically that we did some updates. Google did not pre-announce it because they didn't think it would be big. And again, the tools didn't show it as being big, but we noticed in the community, which is pretty interesting. So we definitely saw that happening. And Google released a bunch of statements basically saying, there was really nothing that they really thought to announce. People are talking about this. So yeah, we did several updates. We do several updates every week. But there's nothing really specific here that we want to talk about. So basically, you take a look at that post. I have a little more commentary there as well about what's going on. Talking about updates, so in earlier November 5th, 6th, 7th, and so forth, Google kind of pushed out a local update, the Google My Business update, or what you call the local pack update. And we talked a little bit about that, but Joy Hawkins, who's like the local SEO expert in the industry, basically named it the Bedlam update, and she said she named it because it's kind of like a uproar or confusion in the industry because nobody really knows what's going on. And she's been digging into the data. She hasn't published any real data yet, but I'm tracking what she's saying in the local search forums. And she says that she believes this is based on going over tons and tons of screenshots and ranking trackers and stuff like that. She said she's convinced that the main factors here impacted are related to relevance, not necessarily proximity. So she hopes to publish more information about that, and when she does, we will let you know. Lizzie Harvey from Google announced a massive update to the video structured data help docs. And in the video structured help docs, she makes massive updates to it, including lots of more screenshots, how to mark your videos with timestamps in YouTube so they get picked up with those in the, I forgot what it's specifically called, but basically those in the clips, which shows you the actual timestamps, where it shows you actually timestamps in the Google rich results. And more information. So definitely take a look at that. If you are doing any videos like I am and a lot of other people, you want to take a look at those new structured data documents because they really tell you a lot and show you a lot. At XMX on, I think, Wednesday, Daniel Watsberg from Google made a hint in one of his slides that Google's doing some, what he called new email stuff, I believe is what he said, around Search Console. And maybe, I don't know exactly what that's going to improve or going to change, But he basically said they're working on email stuff. And I know a lot of complaints in the Search Console world around SEOs is they get too many emails for repetitive stuff. Maybe it's around that. Maybe it's around other things we will see. Jennifer Slegg quoted Gary from Google basically saying that we only rewrite a low number of page titles. So basically he said we rewrite page titles in a low number of cases, meaning the number of times Google will rewrite your page title in the search results will be very few times. And he basically said if we're rewriting your titles, then maybe you should be thinking about that, which is a very interesting thing to say because if you think about it, Google used to just rewrite the titles based on what the query was, but you don't know what the query is going to be per se. But maybe Gary's basically saying you should know what the query is because if Google wants to write that page, you should probably be on the same page as Google in terms of what you think people might search for Google to rank that page. And if you're not, then maybe you have a miscommunication on what's going on there. Big news this week from the crawling or rendering side is that Martin split at the Chrome Developer Summit, which was this week. I think he actually announced it yesterday, that Google, the median time for GoogleBot to render the page in the queue, from when it hits the queue to being fully rendered, is about 5 seconds, which is a big metric. I think before that it was like minutes. So it's pretty interesting to see that as well. Congratulations on that, Google. John Mueller basically said that Google does not use a spam score. Big deal. Google has dropped the feature in Google My Business to actually call Google My Business support directly. Now, if you want to speak to them, you can use either the form and you can chat with them, or you could actually submit a request for them to call you back, but you cannot call into them directly. Bing had this really, really scary looking cache bug, and I'll embed it in this. Hopefully I'll remember to embed it while I'm talking. But basically it showed third-party content on your cache page. So it would show your cache page, and then below the cache page, looked like kind of like spammy video links or something. It was kind of scary. Bing said it wasn't a hack, it was just a bug, and they fixed it and did no harm. Google's testing grouping in the mobile results in a singular box multiple snippets from the same domain. So if you have the same domain, Google might group that into a single thing, and I'll hopefully embed that as well so you can take a look at what I'm talking about. Daniel Weisberg announced at XMX that he's starting a new YouTube series in the Google Webmaster YouTube channel. They're really pumping out videos like crazy, and this one sounds very, very useful. It's going to be Search Console training, where he's going to teach you in a number of videos how to use Search Console and how to benefit from Search Console. So that's pretty cool. And this week also, we released 2 vlogs this week. This from the same person, released 2 vlogs this week from the same person. I interviewed Danny Sullivan at the Google Webmaster Conference. It was about a 30-minute interview in total or so. I probably kind of split them into 2 videos, where the first video I talked about his history in the SEO community, how he helped build it up, and then his transition to Google and why he made that decision. And in part 2, I asked him more about what he sees differently now that he's working at Google, when he was actually in the publishing world, and stuff around that. I asked him some pretty funny, interesting and funny questions, so you definitely want to take a look at that, in my opinion. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. Sorry the video is short. I'm not in my space right now, and it's a little bit hard to produce these, and you can upload them on the Wi-Fi, on the hotel Wi-Fi, which is pretty poor. But in any event, for anybody I saw at XMX or didn't see at XMX, hopefully you had a good time. And that is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable. Again, today is Friday, November 15th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Goodbye.